I do rise in support of the Pence Amendment, and I am aware of some very helpful work that Planned Parenthood has done to help some women with some difficult medical issues. But we've heard discussion here about a bill of attainder. And of course, Article 1, Section 9, Paragraph 3 says, no bill of attainder or ex post facto law will be passed. That's the Constitution. A bill of attainder, according to William Rehnquist, is, quote, a legislative act that singles out one or more persons and imposes punishment on them without benefit of trial. No one is being found guilty of a crime here. I know about those things. I have found people guilty of crimes after a trial. That's not what's happening here, any more than it was what was happening when people decided to defund Guantanamo Bay or defund Acorn because they were complicit in encouraging prostitution. To come in here and say that when this body finds that one entity does not deserve to be receiving more money that was pried out of taxpayers' hand is somehow a bill of attainder, then it means we can never withdraw money from someone from whom it was given previously. That's not a bill of attainder. And in fact, to take it away, one would first have to assume that this money was the property of this entity before they ever received it. Now, to say that would be to say that taxpayers that earned the money and the taxpayers that had to give it up because we stole it, but we legalized the theft because we can do that. We can say, you earned it, it's yours, but we have the power to legalize taking it away from you against your will. We've done that. We've taken it away. But we have a responsibility to be frugal and to be wise with that. No, I won't. I didn't ask to be yielded when I was being upset by the explanation inappropriately of a bill of attainder. But I know the gentleman is one of the smartest people I know. But this is not a bill of attainder. The F-35 we voted on, a second engine. Well, there been money appropriated supposedly before. We talked about, we passed things. They could come in and say, well, it's a bill of attainder to take it away. It is not. It is not their money. This body has an obligation to investigate, to look carefully about where we should most appropriately spend the taxpayers' money that we've taken away, or the money 42 cents out of the dollar now we're borrowing from China or whoever will give us the money. But it was never the intention of the founders that we could not be responsible as a body and say this shouldn't go to this place, it would be better served going someone else. That is our job, and we have an obligation. And one other thing, to those who say, and I know well-meaning because I know these people who are saying it, and I know their hearts, and I knew they really believed what they were saying. But I've got part one of the Act to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to modify the first-time home buyer's credit in the case of members of the armed forces and certain other federal employees and for other purposes, which is Obamacare. Because the Senate stripped out every word of the bill, including the title, substituted therefore Obamacare. This is the first half of the bill. And if you turn over to page 119, capital B subsection, it says abortions for which public funding is prohibited. But if you go to subsection little 2I, it has this title: abortions for which public funding is allowed. That's not all. Legal clinics are financed and are required to be financed under this bill, and there is no prohibition either by the Hyde Amendment or any provision in this bill or the executive order that legally prevents federal funding for allowing abortions in some of those medical clinics that are established and will happen. Also, if you flip over here, and you wouldn't find this in a word search for abortion because it was too cleverly put back, but if you look at 122, it is required to have insurance plans, and there will be federal funding involved to make this happen, that there be, and quote, at least one such plan that provides coverage of services described in clauses I and 2i of subsection capital B.
Ms. Expired.
That's abortion, folks. There's money for it here.